And now that we're live, I'm going to go ahead and go live in Instagram. Hello and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. What is the Clint Initiative? The Clint Initiative is a multi-phase project to create entertainment here in Minnesota and to distribute that entertainment to the world, starting with this podcast. This podcast is the seed from which everything else will grow. The Clint Initiative is about great music. The Clint Initiative is about great live entertainment. The Clint Initiative is about a sketch show. The Clint Initiative is all about film content. If you want to know how to do a podcast, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to do an album, how to find musicians, how to get it recorded, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to create more content over a short period of time, you're listening to the Clint Initiative and we will help you get there. If you are ready to create, if you're ready to talk about creating, if you're ready to be about it and get it done, we want to talk to you. This is the Clint Initiative. My name is Paul and my co-hosts are Katie, Clint, and Jamel. We are the Clint Initiative. If you are interested in creating content, if you're interested in creating movies, music, television, films, short films, and feature films, then we want to talk to you. We want to have you on the show. Email us at theclintpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And now, back to the show.
We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working. Give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. What are we doing? We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall to see what's stick. Come on, what are we doing? Sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, a ver que se pega. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. This is our 17th week of podcasting. I've got Jamel here, I've got Katie here, and Clint should be joining us shortly. But for right now, Katie, this is your chance to speak out. How are things going with you?
Very good. I just did a show not too long ago, and I got to see you guys. So it's been pretty great.
Perfect. And like always, the technical part, I always sort of get it mixed up sometimes. So like always, this is our co-host check-in, where everyone sort of gets to check in and say how they're doing. And Jamel, what is going on with you, my friend?
What's going on, everybody? Life is great. I'm well. I'm at peace. And you know how hard it is to fight to keep your peace. So I'm always glad and grateful that peace has always been with me. We have our frustrating times, but as long as you hone it down and you come back to that zen and mellow it out. And I hope everybody knows how to do that as well, too. And hope everybody's having a great day. And thank you for being with us here live on the show today.
Awesome. So this is a brand new week, a brand new show, and lots of opportunities. And there are two things that are happening with us that are really impactful this time around. One of those, okay. Give me one sec. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play
I'm gonna go ahead and
All right, I won't say anything. I won't spoil the surprise for our audience. So I'll wait till you get the technical difficulties solved, and then we'll spring it on them.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this technical difficulty. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and show this. Okay,
Hey, Paul, we see
I'm
you.
still here. You and Katie, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back.
Oh no.
So, how did you think the show went on Domingo on Sunday?
The show was like, it was pretty crazy at first. There was a lot like
A lot of
that had
things.
happened in
A lot of
a
things
short
going
amount
on.
of time. Yes, it was just somebody had like triple booked it, then it just threw us all off schedule. Um, and then a lot of designers dropped out in the last minute. So I think it was supposed to
Because of,
be
probably because of their schedules
what?
too. Probably because of their schedules too.
Yes, the like it just threw everybody's time off. And then a lot of us were there from like 11:40 till the time show. So it sucked.
The early,
Well,
a
I am
long day.
back, and I gotta tell you that the reason why Clint is not here is because in my hurry to get everything ready for the show, I forgot to send him the link to the show. I didn't post it in our group chat like I normally do. So I guess he doesn't check his email. So I'm gonna go ahead and the show must go on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the fact that boom, there's a link to our article in Voyage, Minnesota, which is live now. So people should be able to click the link in here after the show, of course, and go to that magazine article, and they'll be able to see how we came about and everything that's going on with us. And in addition to that, today we actually will be moving into our new space, and that's the thing
Yes.
that I am really excited about.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure they're waiting on us too to get there and then welcome us there.
Yay. That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is exciting because it gives us a chance to elevate what we're doing and to do more prepared content so that people will be able to not only get involved in what we're doing, but it also will help us in terms of being more a part of the community. So those are two big things that are happening for us. Another big thing that happened this past weekend, which I'm gonna see if I can share this with you guys. Another big thing that happened this weekend, which I really personally enjoyed. Let me go ahead and pull it up here so that you guys can see it because it was really okay. It was the 18th anniversary of the 2024 FMA Basketball Invitational. It was a basketball game with the
Tournament.
Filipino community.
Tournament.
It was a tournament. And it was something that Jamel had an opportunity to be a part of. And it's also something that we will be premiering those games on Monday and Tuesday on the Clint Initiative podcast channel. So big things are coming up, and that's one of them. We're going to give Clint another few moments to come on. But while we're waiting for Clint to come on, I'm sure his check-in is going to be quite entertaining. once he does get on. Give me
Hopefully he can get on there because I did send the link in the group text. So hopefully he see it.
Yeah, and I also sent it to him directly, so he should be here soon. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead.
Did you guys like that show?
We were there for you, Katie.
Yeah, there for you in the show.
Even though, yeah, and to support the show, but mostly we were there for you, and we wanted to basically wanted to surprise you, you know, that we showed up, and yeah.
Yeah, because people don't know that
Yes,
we've been doing the show for 17 weeks, and this past weekend on Sunday was the first time that we actually got to meet in person. So that was a really big thing.
Right.
So
it's nice. It was so like it was like a good feeling to see you guys. And I think despite of all the problems, it went well. Like everybody kind of maintained the same energy. Because it was
that's the main part. That's the main part.
okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and go on with the show. Hopefully Clint would join us while we are talking about our random questions. Normally, when I do the random question, I have a couple of questions for us to consider, but this time I'm only going to address one question, and it's based on an email that I received. But before I do that, hello, Clint. How are you doing?
Hey, Michael Jackson.
We're gonna do a new co-host check-in. We're gonna check in with Clint. Clint,
don't patronize me this hour.
Hey,
don't try to patronize me.
I have to apologize.
It's the Trinidadian Michael Jackson. What's going on?
I have to apologize to you, Clint. It was my fault. I sent the link out via email, forgot to put it in our group text, and I profusely apologize.
I didn't get an email.
Clint,
I checked my email this morning.
The email went out to everybody. I can actually show it to you later. But how's it going, Clint?
Well, first of all, I'm wearing my African dashiki thing and I'm letting out the hair a little bit, fluff it out. Because today is actually Emancipation Day in Trinidad, so I want to wish all my brothers and sisters happy Emancipation Day. Since we are emancipated since the 1st of August, it's since 1834. So happy Emancipation Day to all the people in Trinidad and Tobago.
Hey, Clint, do one thing. That's my name. Do one thing for me. Puff. Pat that fro on the sides for me.
Right now, my fro it's starting to get flat. I try my best to get it up, but it keeps falling back down.
Wow! Now that we have Clint, we lost Katie, man.
But you win one or you lose one.
Well, balance. We're about to have balance in the force, right?
We're about to gain her back as soon as she get connection.
So what we're going to do is we're still going to go to that random question. And this, normally, like I said, I have two random questions, but this time it's just one. And it's that big question that I got from someone via email asking, why aren't we political? Why aren't we political? Why don't we talk about political stuff? Come on. This is a historic time in our country, and you're not talking about any political stuff. What's wrong with you, boy? You got a platform. You should give me a second. You got a platform. You should use it. You should use it you should use it to inform people. Now, I know what my answer is to the fact of why we aren't political. And I'm going to state my case first, and then I'm going to normally I would let you guys go first. But I think especially now, especially today, we need to have a break from so much of what's happening in the political world right now. For the first time in my history, in my 63 years of life, I find that there are no guardrails.
And when our political world has no guardrails, there are other people who talk about politics. There are other people who will go out there and that's their main thing. Our main thing is to entertain and inform people. And I find that that's very, very difficult to do in our current political environment. So when people ask, why aren't we political? That's my answer. I think that we need to have a way to decompress. And when we want it, trust me, with independent media and the mainstream media, there are so many sources out there for political information. So, Katie, I see you're back with us, and that's fantastic. But someone actually asked, why aren't we political? And I wanted to give my 2 cents, and now I'm going to let you give your 2 cents. And feel free, if you wanted to add some Spanish in there, so our Spanish-speaking audience can also now know why we aren't political, feel free. But you're on deck, Katie.
To be honest, I am not like I've never been to the politics, but I just think it's a lot.
Your connection isn't really good, Katie. I'm gonna come back to you in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go to Jamel now. And what is your 2 cents on that, Jamel, on the whole political thing?
My thing with that is this is really not what we're about. We can make it that, but that's not what we want at all. We want our audience to be able to get away from that for a little while, enjoy some good entertainment, and then, when they decide to dibble back into that or jump back into that, they have the option to. We want to make sure we give everybody that option to get away from that and just get a good laugh, get good suspense, drama, whatever it may be, a live sketch show, just good old-fashioned entertainment.
Okay, and now, Clint, I'm gonna let you have your say. What are your thoughts on that? Why aren't we political, Clint? Why aren't we? Tell us about it.
I don't know about you guys, but I can speak for myself. I am not politically qualified to be in any politics right now. What I'm doing is what I'm doing best and so on. So I am not educated in that field to talk about politics. If I wanted to talk about politics, I would have been a politician. So I'm good where I'm at. That field. Keep me out of the comments. Keep me out of the bacchanal. I'm good right here.
Okay, and just to be clear, this podcast and what we do here is purely about entertainment, movies, and giving our folks content and talking about our productions. Now, our productions may delve into political subjects. Our plays or our films or even some of our sketches may talk about political things. That's only natural. But this show is for us to have a good time, as the intro song to the Trinidad Takeover says. We're just here to have a good time. So we want to try to have a good time. And one of the things that's always a good time for me is our Bible bracket.
Dynamite!
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the right Bible bracket thing. But before I do that, I wanted to play this for everyone. Just a reminder.
Don't cost you nothing to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Come on. Come on. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe, don't cost you nothing. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah. Yeah, so just hit that like and subscribe.
Yeah, I can stall with the best of them, giving Katie a little bit more time to come on and giving myself an opportunity to look up the right intro to our Bible bracket. And here it is.
What is a show Bible? A show Bible is a document that outlines the characters, plots, settings, and themes of a television series. Writers pitch show Bibles to network executives and production companies in the hopes that it will produce a production agreement. Well, with the Clint Initiative podcast, we do streaming content, we do movies, we do music. So, for our productions, we have a Bible, and that Bible will be previewed here on the show.
Okay, so as you can see, I have our Bible bracket up there, and that Bible bracket is up there. It is something that we do for fun, and our two contenders this week are something I can touch. Sometimes you just need something you can touch.
Clint.
What?
When nothing seems right.
What? Keep my name out of your mouth.
I seen the sunshine.
Keep my name out of your mouth.
I seen the sun shining over there.
Keep my name out of your mouth.
When nothing seems right or real in the world.
That smile went from ear to ear about that one, Clint.
When nothing seems right in the world. When everything seems topsy-turvy. And the whole world seems like it's all going to end. Sometimes we just need something we can touch so that we can feel the earth and so that we can ground ourselves and be able to go on. That's what something I can touch is all about. And our next contender is...
There's a lot of things of something that can get touched.
Enablers.
Me, I keep my mouth shut.
You don't want to talk about enablers? You know, when people talk about enablers, they always talk about how it's a bad thing. But there are some enablers that are good. Hello, Jolanta. You're here just in time.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Paul.
How you doing?
Hello there.
Good. How are you all? It's raining outside again.
Oh, but the sunshine is right here.
You
like
caught
that,
us just
Jamal.
as we were doing our Bible bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you our two competitors for our Bible bracket this week, and you'll be able to tell us which one you like. You'll be able to use our rating system. And what is our rating system? Our rating system is if it sticks, needs work, or you want to forget about it. Now, we use the bracket form for our films because it's a fun way for us to talk about the ideas that we're going to produce and the films that we're going to do. And it's a great way to have fun with them. Now, this week, our competitors are something I can touch when everything in the world seems topsy-turvy, when nothing seems right or real. In fact, when everything seems wrong. Sometimes to ground yourself, you just need something you can touch. And that is what something I can touch is all about. It's about being able to ground yourself and have something real. And sometimes just by touching it, you know that this is something that's real. Our other competitor this week is enablers. You know, whenever you hear about enablers, you always hear about the negative part of it, or they give it another name like this person is my mentor or whatever.
I like to keep this one real simple, and I can subscribe it into a symbol for you with enablers. Yin and yang.
There you go. Some enablers serve you well.
Right.
Some enablers will send you to hell. I'll just put it that way. Some enablers serve you well, others will send you to hell.
I don't know about the hell, Paul, but I can just say it'll probably send you in a direction that you probably don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't want to go to jail. I have no interest in being in jail. So yeah, enablers can actually, you can wind up in jail. But what we're going to do now, Jolanta, is we're going to discuss the ideas. Once we discuss them, we're going to come up with our final determination. And I'm going to go to Jamel first so he can show you how it's done. Then we'll go to Clint, and then we'll come to you. Okay, so Jamel, of those two ideas, which one is speaking to you?
I want to say something I can touch can be worked on, but the one that I'm gonna have to go with this week is enablers, because I can just see playing off of both sides of that, and it could go from enablers into like invest, like somebody's what's the word I'm looking for? You know how you have somebody that's enabling something to start a conversation over here, and then you got this person over here trying to enable it, trying to diffuse it.
Yeah.
Instigating. There you go. It could be an instigator or a diffuser, back and forth. That's what I was looking for. And then that could be a plot twist to a lot of other things too, leading into other things in the future that we may have in our Bible bracket.
Right. And that's
including something I can touch.
Absolutely. And Clint, what are your thoughts on those two projects? Give us your thoughts.
How you doing, Michael?
I was looking for something that I could touch.
Really?
Jamel, get your head out of the gutter.
I just laughed at your hand gesture.
What? What about it? Yeah. I just use my hands to talk, all right? I thought I'd express myself. Yeah, so I always looking for something that I could touch, because somehow something I could touch, it stick with me. And in a sense that it talks to me in a way like, like you're always on the reach for something you could touch. Like, for instance, let's take, for example, your dreams and your aspiration. It always seems like it's this close that you could just reach out and touch it, but for somehow you find it like it's impossible to reach it, but you're always that close where you could touch it. So something I could touch, it's stop.
So we know what sticks for you now. Something I can touch. Jamel went with enablers.
Yeah,
now it comes down to me and Jolanta, and hopefully we can get Katie back. And here's Katie. Can you hear us, Katie?
Yeah, I can hear you. Connection's like so bad out here.
Not a problem. But I'm going to go to Jolanta so she can tell it. We have two films that we're doing. We have Something I Can Touch, when all the world seems to go asunder. Sometimes we just need something we can touch.
So right now, Katie, we have a tie right now between Clint saying Something I Can Touch and me with enablers.
Yeah, and enablers is all about the yin, as Jamel said, the yin and the yang. Sometimes enablers serve you. Sometimes they can send you to hell. So sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our guest, Jolanta. So Jolanta, of those two ideas, what sticks, what needs work, and what should we forget about?
I like the idea of Something I Can Touch as well. Kind of reminds me of the song. Well, I'm dating myself here, but Diana Ross sang "Reach Out and Touch Somebody." You guys, I don't know if you guys remember that song. Might be a little too.
I just know you would have said something you could touch.
That was the reason why. That was the reason why I was calling Clint Michael Jackson with this.
Well, the reason I chose that too, because I do grounding, a lot of grounding work in my spare time, and grounding is very important to me. And sometimes you just have to get out and touch a tree and hug a tree, be around a tree, There's lots of energy around trees, and we kind of forget about that. So that's why I chose that one. I like the other topic too, but
Well,
I'll break the tie.
also, Jolanta, we also forget about grounding ourselves by just stepping outside and being a part of nature barefoot to release any negative energy, just to recharge yourself. Honestly, you really don't have that many people on the planet that actually do that nowadays because they're always so busy on the go and they're afraid to step outside and step in grass without any shoes on.
Yep.
Go in the country, you'll see plenty of them. Go somewhere in the country, you have plenty of them walking out barefoot. I was one.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to come to Katie. Katie, of those two enablers and something I can touch, which one sticks? Which one needs work, and which one do we want to forget about?
So I heard the enabler, but I didn't hear you give me like the teaser for the other one, something you could touch.
Something I can touch is all about grounding yourself, as he was saying, that we live in a topsy-turvy world and things are just crazy. And sometimes you just need something you can touch to ground yourself so you can recharge and get ready to face the world that's always going to try to, take you from your center and out of balance. So sometimes you just need something you can touch.
Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely have to go with the something you could touch. I mean, you just described it so well too. Something you kind of sold me there, but I definitely could relate more to that.
Okay, so now we've had the discussion. We've got 2 for something I can touch, and it looks like, oh, okay, Jolanta's still there. You know,
3 for something I can touch.
3 for something I can touch.
Jolanta is for something I could touch.
And you're for something I can touch. So wow.
And I'm for enablers. And I just said that something I can touch, we can work on that. Because that's another, I would say, feature film in the making.
Absolutely. And so we've had our discussion. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show our previous Bible bracket winners, and I'm going to come back with our winner for this week, which probably everybody already knows. Okay, and now our winner this week is something I can touch. With us starting our filming this month and with us moving into our space, we truly have something we can touch that's going to help drive our productions and what we do to the next level. And now, our first hit show, the Trinidad Takeover, is about to take center stage. But what we want to do is talk to one of the stars of the Trinidad Takeover, Jolanta. What I want to do is give you a moment on stage before we show the show to talk about yourself, what you do. Everybody knows Clint. We can always talk to him. But what we want to do is we want to talk to you and get a rundown on what you do, who you are, and then we're going to show the continuation of the Trinidad Takeover. So it's your stage, Jolanta. You get to take over the show. Who is Jolanta?
Well, thank you so much, Paul and Clint, for having me on the show. I've been following the show for a little while, and Clint bothered me enough to come on. And he invited me to come into a segment, and so I was like, okay. Carrie Fest is coming up, which is our local Caribbean festival, and it happens every year. And they also have Caribbean events throughout the year. But for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jolanta Young. I am a creative director, fashion, and portrait photographer right here in the Twin Cities. And we are also a podcast and multimedia space in St. Paul. So I have a little bit of a boutique studio that's opening up in the next upcoming weeks, actually, in August. And you might know who Silent Echo Studios are. They are a creative agency here as well. And we've done a bunch of things, whether it be film, producing. We've done things for Twin Cities Film Festival, Black Twin Cities Film Festival. Also work with Black Fashion Week Minnesota, Fashion Week Minnesota. So I've been doing fashion since like about 2017-ish is when I kind of got into the fashion scene here. But my family is from Trinidad and Tobago, as Clint knows. And so I try to go home when I can. When it's winter here, I like to get away from the snow, go back home and relax when the opportunity presents itself. And this year, my mom and I ventured into a business together. And we have something called Mom and Me Production, which is our production house, strictly just for showcasing Caribbean representation, because we don't have any Caribbean representation on the runway. And I'm tired of seeing the same faces over and over. So we have Carnival back home. And what sparked my interest in doing our own show at New York Fashion Week, which is what we did in February with the Fashion Life Tour, who gave us a chance to shine because the owner is from the Cayman Islands. And she gave us a spotlight, and our show was sold out. And it was a great show. I've never done New York Fashion Week producing my own show. I've sat behind fashion designers, and I've done creative direction for their line. I've done a lot of different photo shoots for their line. And I've also done film. I enjoy producing a lot more. And so my photography has allowed me to really expand and see different things and meet people from all over the place. So all over the world, globally. I'm also a published photographer. So I've been published internationally, locally in some things, and globally as well. And so I'm also a Toastmaster too. So I do public speaking. I'm getting ready to get my Distinguished Toastmasters Award here shortly. And so my club, we meet every Tuesday. If you're interested in what Toastmasters is, it's a great way to learn how to speak with people and get to know different people. And I've been doing Toastmasters for quite a long time, so I can't forget my Toastmasters family as well. So I do a little bit of different things, especially when it comes to advertising and marketing. Promoting different people. Love working with artists. Love working with actors, models. I just love what I do. It's my passion. I got it from my dad. My family is a very entertaining family, and we have a lot of music here, and we've been entertaining Minnesota for a very long time.
Wow, that is a lot. I remember when I was a member of Toastmasters many, many years ago. And wow, that's a blast from the past. Did anyone have any questions for Jolanta before we go to part 2 of the Trinidad Takeover? Any questions for Jolanta, or you got all the tea? You got all the tea, I guess, huh?
Well, it's not fair because Jamel knows me and Clint knows me and Katie doesn't know me yet, but those two know me. Don't you guys have any questions?
Well, I don't have any questions because you just pretty much told me everything that I would want to know. It seems like you and I are sort of have traveled the same paths.
It
So
sounds like it.
yeah, I'm just now more headed toward the filmmaking and making more streaming content like the hit show Trinidad Takeover. And okay, and we can also make this a react. So as it's playing, if you want to comment, feel free to comment.
On the scale, nah, give this a 10 out of 10. I'll give it a 100. No. This is real good, boy.
Don't leave me hanging.
I feel like I'm home. I'm coming back. I honestly didn't see a hang up at
Welcome back.
Welcome home to the future of flavor.
Yeah, you left me hanging there.
Sorry about that. I have a question for you. I have an answer. You look like you have an answer for everything. Tell me, how long have you been in business here in Minnesota?
So we started off back in 2012 in my backyard, right here in Minneapolis, where I was missing friends and family. And so I'd fire up the grill and I couldn't get the neighbors to stay away. Because when you smell that jerk chicken in your neighborhood, you just start floating like the cartoon characters until you find the backyard. And so lo and behold, after feeding our neighbors and corporate friends, we took my backyard grill and a $100 tent from Target and went around streets of Minneapolis at the various events, Uptown Art Fair, Renaissance Festival, and those events, so we can introduce Minnesotans to jerk chicken. This was back in 2012. Fast forward a year after that, we got casted for and won a Food Network reality show, Food Court Wars, where we got our first restaurant free for a year down at Burnsville Mall. Then I left my corporate job to grow into our spaces. Now we've since opened up one in Burnsville Center, one in downtown Minneapolis, one in Kenton Case Market, a second one downtown St. Paul, Wabasha, right across from City Hall. And then we opened up our rum bar, launched our food truck, and now we're here on Bide Makaska, the #1 lake out of 10,000 lakes. So we're glad, yeah, prime real estate, the crown jewel of Minnesota, and we're honored to be representing the Caribbean right here on the crown jewel.
What's the most popular item on your menu what do people love the most?
People tend to love everything, right? But it depends on who's coming for what. You have grandmothers traveling from the southern parts of the suburbs to get oxtail, right? But the #1 selling item, interesting enough, is boneless jerk chicken. And we are the only restaurant on the planet to offer boneless jerk chicken, because when we first started, we surveyed the community to ask what they thought of Jamaican food and Caribbean food, and they loved everything, the spices, the flavors, but they said, what's this thing in the middle of the meat? And so as a result, we got rid of the bones and invented boneless jerk chicken. So our jerk chicken is the favorite. But then for those who can't decide, they then choose the One Love, because you get a combination of jerk chicken or jerk pork or rice and peas, plantains, and island slaw with the sauce to top. So it's a good little platter and a good little introduction for those who want good flavor.
Were the ladies there before, or did they come in randomly?
They just walked in. I got 2 questions in one of them.
I think that's so hilarious. I'm sorry.
Tell me. I know people taste buds not too used with the spice and all that. So basically, you're making Caribbean dish here. So tell me, what does the customer think about your Caribbean dish here?
The customer really loves our Caribbean dish because it's reminiscent of when they travel to our islands, right? Because Minnesotans love the Caribbean. And so when they come here, they get that real authentic experience. But the thing about it too is because those who aren't exposed to the islands, they welcome the flavors because the flavors aren't that foreign, right? You have just basic habanero, Scotch bonnet pepper type vibes. You have the sweet, you have the savory, you have the ginger, you have the garlic. And all of those combined gives a great mixture and a welcoming flavor that doesn't overpower or scare people too much. And then we have our barbecue options. So like our Kingston cake and our Minnesota Nice options, that's our barbecue homage or jerk barbecue. And so it gives them that barbecue that they become accustomed to, but then has that right kick to wake up the palate. And so even in the winter of Minnesota, people love to come here because that food warms the heart, warms the soul, warms the vibes. All day
There
long.
she is again.
Something I wanted to ask you, you doesn't make callaloo here, right?
We make callaloo we make callaloo for brunches. We make callaloo for catering. We make it seasonally available because we don't really use the can. We use the fresh ones, and so we try to make sure that whatever we're offering is seasonally available. But also in terms of like fish, we offer fish here on the lake, and that's one of the things that we did when we came to the lake. We expanded our menu from what we've traditionally offered to now have that beach menu. So one can even get fresh oysters here on the lake, right? One can get fish. One can get burgers, hot dogs. Those are things that only exist here at our Pimento on the lake.
What kind of fish? Tell me.
It's a cod. What we do is a nice battered cod, flavorful, and goes really well with all of our seasonings.
Cod sounds good.
You have to go back and try the
I will
cod
have to
next
give
time.
you a thumbs up here because I really get Caribbean food here and I liking it. You know, there are some people that say they're selling Caribbean food and it's a knockoff. I went in the Mall of America to get Caribbean food. They said I was making roti. I went and I advertised it big. I went to order the roti, to order a goat roti. The people, they give me the roti. So when I do so, I open the roti. The thing was them tortilla bread, you know. Them tortilla bread, they passed it as the dal curry and a tasteless curry, a watered down curry with a tasteless. Or you're ripping people off and saying it's Caribbean food to make money. But if you want real Caribbean food, come here at Pimento. You're going to get it.
Yeah, man, you know how we do it.
So Jonathan, tell them about the Curry Festa now. We're going to wrap up here too.
So, Tommy, tell us where can we find you in CariFest? How long have you been going to CariFest?
I've been going to CariFest since I moved here in 2006, right? This has been the space where all Caribbean people come together, find each other, and we're honored to be partnered with CariFest again, even in their 31st year anniversary. And what we do is we recognize that a lot of people have jerk chicken and other offerings. We decided that when we show up, we want to bring the rum bar instead. So while you can get jerk chicken from other options, we're the only place where one can get alcoholic beverages. So we'll have our rum punch, our margarita, our screwdriver, Red Stripe, Guinness, Heineken, under the food truck, under our tent, right next to the stage at CariFest. So it's like the VIP area. We can come grab a cool Red Stripe and watch the live performances.
Yep.
So don't miss out.
I didn't
July
get any food from them for the
27th.
weekend. Yeah, we're going to
just selling
call me on the truck for Curry Festa. Big up.
And I've been
Because you missed them on Friday.
You heard it right here. Wait. You heard it right here. CariFest. Friday, fantastic Friday. Friday the 26th, Saturday 27th. Be there.
Initiative podcast.
Go back to Lyman as a city where we give. In America, you guys hang.
I've been actually knowing and going to CariFest since 1998.
But this is what we call Lyman in Trinidad.
Gotta have some salad next to
We
food.
have a good time.
And now we know why Clint Show just don't want to go no more. All that dancing. Okay, so
I've been knowing about CariFest and going to CariFest since 1998.
wow.
Yeah.
I
And I got a
got
chance
to
to
meet
miss
Jamal.
it
I've
this year.
been
I've never
involved
been
since
to it. I got a chance to
'94.
So, you're welcome to stay, Jolanta, as we end the show, because of course it is getting near the end of the show. What I wanted to do was to go ahead and talk about how our show actually came to be and what the Clint Initiative podcast is all about. And it's all about J.D. Still and the Mill City Singers. The Mill City Singers is a professional choir here in Minneapolis that you don't have to audition to be a member of the choir. All you have to do is show up, and you get a chance to be a member of the choir and to perform with a professional choir. For me, as someone who's acted and been to film school, I think that that opportunity should also be awarded to people who want to be in streaming content or films. That they can just show up and they can be a part of what you are doing, either in front of the camera or behind the camera. I find auditions to be something that I just don't want to be a part of. I want to have people come and show me what they're capable of doing. And just like with J.D. Steele and the Mill City Singers, we want them to be able to be a part of what we do in a professional way and in a way that fits into who they are and their personality. And then we can all benefit from it. And that also brings us, I'm sort of squeezing everything in because, of course, time is running down. You know, that Trinidad takeover really takes over. And that brings me to our founders and our inner circle. There are several different ways that people can contribute to what we do. And with us moving into our new space, the Patreon initiative becomes even more important. The coffee initiative becomes important, and the GoFundMe initiative is important as well. So in our description on YouTube, there's a link to all of those different ways that people can help funders. And ever so often, I like to remind people that we do have our original founders and members of our inner circle. We have Devin and we have Joe, two people who were early adapters to what we do here at the Clint Initiative podcast. And that is just something that we appreciate. And because we do an equity crowdfunding model, that means that when we are successful, they will be successful as well. And what equity crowdfunding basically is, that if we have that number one film, if we're able to produce something that is as successful as some of the other films that we are seeing, independent films like Talk to Me, The Blair Witch Project, and my personal favorite, Paranormal Activity, for a budget of $16,000, they made $194.2 million. So if we're able to produce something that captures the imagination of people, using our method of no auditions, having people show up, and then just bringing out the best in people, I think that we can be there among the greats. And that's my goal for everything that we do here at the Clint Initiative podcast. In addition to that, now that we have our own space, a moment from the sketch show is something that follows our showcase for our co-hosts, like the Trinidad Takeover.
Looking forward to that.
And we have several things that we're going to grace the audience with, especially now that we have our own space, which we will have a tour of next week. So, with me having all that exposition of a kind, what we're going to do now is we're going to come to the part of the show that I think some people like more than everything else, and that's where everyone gets to have their final words.
Hey, Paul.
What's up, Jamel?
I think we need to add a little something at the bottom for our audience to see.
Oh, you know what, man?
There you go. There you go.
You can already tell that I had a lot that I was doing. So let me go ahead and start the music. Make sure it's at the right level. As we end the show today, I am really excited. We're now 17th week. We had the magazine article that came out, and we're also moving into our space today. So, and we have a wonderful guest here, Jolanta from the Trinidad Takeover. And I'm going to let you give our audience your final words. Jolanta, what do you have to say to
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really had a lot of fun. I think this is a great podcast, and hopefully more people will like, subscribe, and share the link. I do my best to promote you guys to my feed. And thank you, Clint, for having me on, and we're enjoying our moment as we try to do more crazy, fun adventures. I swear, I'm nothing like what's in the video when you get to see the person.
Okay.
I'm a bit more down to earth than that. So.
Okay, and now
on you guys.
We're gonna go to your Katie. What are your final words to the audience?
I am so sorry I've been kind of in and out, but it was a pleasure to meet you, Yolanda. You have so many achievements. I got lucky to at least listen to your bio. So, like I said, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for supporting, and congratulations to Paul, to the magazine. Everybody is doing so well, and thank you for sharing your part, Clint. I got to see the best part of you dancing, so it was incredible.
No, it's not.
So now, Clint, what are your final words to the audience today? Mr. Trinidad Takeover himself.
Well, what I would like to say to you guys out there, I know some people may hurt you, do you something, and what you want to do is seek revenge, but never seek revenge, because rotten fruit will fall by themselves.
Rotten fruit will fall by themselves. Truer words were never spoken. And now, Jamel, we're going to come to you for your final words to our audience out there. What do you have to say to the people?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for continuously supporting us. Thank you, Jolanta, for being here to be able to come on the show and, speak about everything that you do. And I'm glad that you really like our podcast. Katie, we know you're in movement and transition. We're just thankful that you're still able to be consistent with coming in and trying to stay on as much as possible. Everybody, please like, comment, and share to continue to help us grow. But also, if you ever have a moment in your mind of doubt, believe in you. Believe in yourself, because your voice is important, because your dreams matter, because there is only one you, and you are worth it.
Yes, that is some final words for people to live by. And now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about what is the next time on the Clint Initiative podcast. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you a tour of our new space. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you that first episode of A Moment from the Sketch Show. I have several model portfolios that I will be featuring for our Patreon members, Jolanta, from when I did fashion photography many, many years ago. So you'll get to see how fashion has changed since I was doing what you do now. It's definitely a blast from the past and a trip in the time machine. So I want to thank you all for making our time your time, and for making our year and our growth something that we can be proud of. And as we end the podcast, I just want to say, see you next Thursday as we continue the Clint Initiative podcast, and as we continue our growth with the Trinidad Takeover mostly. So here we go.
And Jamel Jam.
Jamel Jam.
And Spanish Takeover. And Jamel Jam in.
Good